the biggest change I've seen in the last decade is the experience.
Yes.
That clients and consumers want that experience. And, that is where OrangeTwist is positioned, right? So in some ways, I think that the future is limitless. One of the things, again, I'll draw on my experience from Disney. One of the things that I really gained from my experience there was that spirit of optimism, right? Of looking at things and maybe there's roadblocks and there's issues, but being solution oriented to be able to see what the big picture is. And, in this category, you've seen all the numbers and all the projections of double digit growth and market expansion. It really is limitless.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Technology of Beauty, where I have the opportunity to interview the movers and shakers of the beauty business. And today is no exception. Today, you're going to get to know Paul Gaynor, who's the CEO of OrangeTwist. Thank you very much for joining me, Paul.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me. I'm excited.
It's an absolute pleasure. Thanks for driving up. You live down in Orange County, don't you?
I do. I live in the OC.
Terrific. Well, we're here in Manhattan Beach in our studio, and today we get to understand and interview Paul Gaynor, the CEO of OrangeTwist. But before we hear about OrangeTwist, Paul, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Born and raised in Southern California, so been here all my life. And I'll just fast forward to being an adult. My initial passion was I wanted to be a sports broadcaster. So kind of excited to be here in a room like this talking to you today.
Well, wait a minute. Where'd you go to high school?
I went to high school at Saddleback High School in Santa Ana.
I went to Catella.
Okay, so not too far away. Not too far away. And I went to school at Cal State Fullerton, so I've been local the whole time.
Terrific. Okay, so after college, what did you start with?
So after college, I kind of got sucked into the retail vortex. It was a part-time job that I had during college where it was at a toy store in South Coast Plaza. And I just had a passion for merchandising and operations and retail, and had a chance to go to a startup company and be a first employee of a company at the time called Store of Knowledge. And we opened a couple hundred stores, and I learned a lot, made a lot of mistakes, but that's kind of what got me hungry on the retail side.
So how did you get associated with Mickey?
So I had a couple of different experiences. As I said, I started out really in the toy industry, worked for a couple of e-commerce startups, eToys being one of them in the late 90s. And it just became a natural opportunity in the early 2000s where I was able to go work for the Walt Disney Company on the Disney Store and the consumer product side. And
when was that?
So that was 2002.
And what did you do at Disney?
Yeah, so
what was your role?
Yeah, so I started as a VP of merchandising. So I started, really on the retail side doing merchandising and buying. And one of the great things about working for Disney is it gives you lots of opportunities to do a lot of different things. So I ended up running e-commerce, and then they moved me over to run the Disney stores in North America, and then I was able to run Disney retail worldwide and do a lot of things overseeing not only the vertical businesses of Disney Store, but also all of the relationships that they had with all of the retailers.
That's fascinating. So then you were there at Disney how long?
I was there almost 16 years at Disney.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And then how is it you got into the beauty business? Here you are now running OrangeTwist, which is a fabulous organization, which we're going to bring out a little bit. But how did you get involved in the beauty business? I don't understand how Mickey met beauty.
Yeah, well, it's sometimes things all happen for a reason. And so it's kind of a funny story. It was my 49th birthday, and I saw turning 50 a year down the road. I saw some of the marketing that OrangeTwist did, and I actually came in as a client to learn more about their treatments and their services. And 48 hours later, I got a call from a recruiter who said, hey, have you ever heard, I know this is something different, I know this is a different space for you, but have you ever heard of a company called OrangeTwist? And I'm like, well, if you would have called me 3 days before that, the answer would have been no. And so things started to progress. I got to meet, your co-founder, Clint Carnell, and just really fell in love with the opportunity that I saw in the space.
And when was that?
So I started about 16 months ago. So 16 years at Disney, learned a lot. And in 16 months at OrangeTwist, I've learned a lot. So started, I don't know if the timing was great, but I started about 2 months before the pandemic really hit.
What a challenge.
In early 2020. So it was pretty wild timing.
Well, you've managed it so well, and OrangeTwist is doing great, which we're going to get to. But before I do, I'm curious, you were a patient or a client at Orange Twist.
Yes.
Which one did you go to?
Yeah, so I went to our Orange Twist location in Brea, and it's really interesting because, again, I was a little hesitant, wasn't really sure what the experience was going to be. The
typical male reaction.
Exactly. I was definitely the typical male client,
Yep.
and I was immediately impressed by the in-store environment, the experience. I had just incredible interaction with the center director there, Vanessa, who was working there, and actually saw a lot of similarities from how Disney thinks about guest experience and how I saw the Orange Twist experience playing out.
And may I ask you what you had done? You don't have to tell me it's a HIPAA violation. If I tell the audience, but if you tell the audience,
then
it's fair.
we're not breaking any protocols. I actually had cool sculpting done.
Is that right?
Yeah. So and went in there, and again, the experience and just the quality of the feel from the beginning to end of my treatment was really something that reminded me of how Disney thinks about quality.
Fantastic. Okay, so you have the treatment at Brea.
Yep.
2 days later, a headhunter calls you.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, you're working for Orange Twist.
Yeah.
And then the pandemic hits.
Yeah. No, it was wild timing. It's funny. I was thinking about 16 years at Disney. I've been at Orange Twist 16 months. It feels a lot longer than 16 months. I mean it in a good way mostly.
No, I bet.
But I think people should get employee credit for getting through the pandemic and managing businesses through this time. But
no question.
It's been a wild ride and a lot of fun already.
So tell us about your experiences at Orange Twist. You took over. Tell me what's going on now. But let's go back. Take me through the last 16 months. What's going on?
Sure. So, obviously coming brand new into an industry, it's been just a learning curve for that. And actually the timing of the pandemic really allowed our team to accelerate, I think, a lot of our strategies and really utilize that time to really kind of see from a client-facing experience, what we wanted to improve. And it also allowed us to kind of build up our strength on our management team. We had many areas in the operation like accounting, marketing, call center, that were HR, that were outsourced, that we were able to bring in and start kind of building up our team as we knew coming to the other side of the pandemic, we really wanted to be a stronger, better organization. And we used some of that time to do that.
So did you let people go? A lot of med spas went out of business.
Yeah, I mean, that was really the most difficult part. The team and talent in these centers, is incredibly inspiring, and just having the medical professionals and our estheticians are so committed, to Orange Twist and their clients. And so to go through that and have to close all of our centers and let our employees go was really a tough thing. That was, my third month in the business. And what equally as exciting was being able to reopen our centers, and rehire our teams 2 to 3 months later and bring them back in. But that was really a painful process.
I bet. So how many centers do you have now?
Yeah, so Orange Twist, we operate 16 centers. Okay. We're in 5 states. A typical Orange Twist is about 2,000 square feet. And are located in what I guess we would call kind of high quality lifestyle outdoor centers.
Okay. Are they drive-in, drive-out kind of access?
Yeah.
Or are they on multi-level buildings, or what does that look like?
Yeah, the majority of them are real convenient access. So think of your local, lifestyle center that might have your Whole Foods and Starbucks and other health and wellness services in them, restaurants. We would be right there where we're somewhere that both is aspirational but also very attainable for our clients.
Okay. And what services do you offer at Orange Twist?
Yeah, so we offer a variety of non-invasive treatments, anything from, Botox to cool sculpting to microneedling to hydrofacials. We really see ourselves really not as a med spa, but really as your treatment shop for body, face, and skin. And so our teams and centers really want to go side by side with the client and really are very results focused, and utilizing those services, to really deliver those results.
And what separates you, in your opinion, from the other med spas down the street? Because I know there's a ton of med spas opening up right now. Tell me what's unique about Orange Twist.
Yeah, well, I think it's really interesting to say that because it's such a fragmented industry. I know that I think 5 out of every 6 med spas in the United States are just individually owned, right? And so, for Orange Twist, we really see our experiences as being the best in maybe a good, better, best in the category, right? We can really create the highest quality environment. We have the top teams that are in our centers that are providing care. And, we believe that this treatment to transformation focus that we have on results really is a differentiator for us.
Okay. Tell me about your partnerships with industry. I know there are certain industries that have partnered with you historically with OrangeTwist, and I know going forward, we were talking earlier about industry partnerships. How do you see that as the CEO of OrangeTwist and your relationship with industries?
Yeah, so I
within
think
the beauty business, the aesthetics business.
Yeah, no, I think that's really important. Again, I think part of the challenge in the industry is that it is so fragmented. OrangeTwist, even with 16 centers, is the largest non-institutionally funded med spa in the United States.
Is that right?
Yeah. And so, and we see, tremendous growth opportunity. And I think that's something that maybe the industry partners sometimes might need to adjust to, right? Because they're not necessarily used to dealing in that kind of manner as what I've seen in other industries, whether it's the toy industry or the home industry or soft lines, it's more traditional, right? Because it's not as fragmented. So it's something that I think we're very focused on as a team in just building those partnerships and relationships with our key vendors.
That's excellent. So you were talking about the future. You mentioned you have 16 stores.
Yeah.
Give me a look into the future here.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the crystal ball yet.
Yeah.
But what are your plans? If you can tell us, what are your
Sure.
plans with OrangeTwist?
Well, I'll start first by this last year, we've really built the infrastructure to be ready for growth.
Okay.
I mentioned the management team that we've been able to build. We have Denise Keeler, who's our chief commercial officer, and she's been there from day one, and does a great job really making sure the brand is being managed in the right way. Brittany Slater, I was able to bring in as our CFO a year ago and really kind of upgrade the senior team. And so the nice thing is we've used that to get ready for growth for what's next. And really what is on the horizon, we think, for OrangeTwist, first of all, is our plan is to go out this fall and find an institutional funding partner to really be able to fuel that growth. And that growth that we see over the next 2 years is that we see by the end of 2023, we would go from 16 to 50 centers. And we would be in 15 markets by then. So that's really what our growth trajectory is. And that's just really the beginning. I mean, the opportunity, Clint Carnell, the fellow co-founder with you, would say, this is coffee before Starbucks or sandwiches before Subway.
I like that.
And, I think that's something that we see, that this is, a huge growth opportunity, great market expansion opportunity to build out these clusters in each of these markets to really be able to have the brand resonate, not only from a United States, North America perspective, but globally.
I love it. And then the universe.
Yeah, and then we'll just take over the universe. Exactly. That's
100%.
right. That's in the roadmap.
Okay, cool. I want to be a part of that ride.
Right on. Well, you are part of that ride, so right on.
So tell actually our guests a little bit about the doctor role in this, because I think it's important for them to understand that this is Dr. Light.
Yeah.
But tell everybody a little bit about the doctor role in these OrangeTwist centers.
Yeah, so we have a chief medical director, and then we have medical directors that oversee all of the locations, and they drive all of the medical and clinical in our centers. And it really creates really a great environment where we're focused really on client care in our centers, and we have that with all of our providers, working directly in with our medical teams.
So how do you maintain quality in terms of injectors and so forth? What does OrangeTwist do to provide a quality experience that maybe the local mom and pop places don't?
Yeah, I think our medical team is very focused on training. We have a clinical director, and that focus is really on making sure that we're getting the right training, following SOPs, and really making sure that we're creating those
what's an SOP?
A standard operating procedure, right? Following protocols, following
no
the protocols.
Acronyms.
No acronyms.
The technology of beauty.
Gotcha.
SOP is.
Sorry, I didn't mean to break a rule. And so really focused in on that training and development, and really investing in our teams. And we do that both on the medical side and also with our estheticians, and a lot of the training that when you brought back to our vendor partners, vendors like Hydrofacial, creating that HFX training, the Hydrofacial training program, those kinds of things where we're investing in our people to really grow and develop. Because as you know, the team and talent, they are passionate about what they do in our centers. And that's something, when I came from Disney, we always had a great focus on our employee base, right? Our cast members and how important our cast members were. But coming to OrangeTwist, it was just incredible for me and really inspiring for me to see the commitment that our medical team has, that our estheticians have to just creating high quality experiences. And team and talent is maybe our number one priority and number one focus in our centers.
That's fantastic because that ensures both safety, client safety or patient safety. I know you say client safety, as well as the quality experience. And those are the two things that go hand in hand, right?
Yeah.
Safety and quality.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
that is ensured with education.
Yeah.
And I understand you have like an OrangeTwist University and a centralized educational process.
Yeah.
And I applaud that because as a past president of the Aesthetic Society, we're committed to patient experience, number one, safety, and number two, the quality experience.
Yeah.
And I applaud what you're doing at OrangeTwist in terms of education. That's so key because this is not going to the hairdresser. This is not getting your nails done. It's not getting your hair colored or hair cut. This is serious stuff. It's fun and we look better and it's fun to do that. But things can go awry. And I applaud what you're doing as the Chief Executive Officer and your commitment to quality and safety. That's very important.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. I have a question for you.
Sure, I'm ready.
What states are you in right now? You mentioned markets. So right now, name the states you're in.
So we're in California, Nevada, Washington, Texas, and then we opened our first East Coast store in New Jersey about 6 months ago. So those are the 5 states.
And I got it. A moment ago, you said you're going to have 15 markets.
Yes.
Now, I know a state like California can have more than one market, but what does that look like? I'm curious, what do we have? What are we looking at in the future for OrangeTwist?
Yeah, so the great news is we've identified about 30 markets. And so, the moment in time that we're in, there's incredible real estate opportunity on the retail side for us to really start to take a look at all of the markets that are on our target list and really figure out where the best real estate is. And so markets like Nashville, Atlanta, Charlotte, Phoenix, to name a few.
Okay.
A lot of markets in the Southeast and the East Coast in general. We'll be able to start going into those markets, taking a look at what the real estate looks like and seeing what makes the most sense for OrangeTwist to be able to kind of move into those markets. The other thing is some of the states that we're in, we're really, we might only have 1 center or 2 centers in some of these markets. And so we'll also, in Seattle, in Fort Worth, Dallas, we'll be able to go into markets like that and start building out clusters in those existing markets where they might be able to have 3, 4, 5, 6 OrangeTwists per market.
Sort of a hub and spoke thing, like you have in Southern California, because you have Brea, you have San Juan Capistrano, you have Newport Beach, then up here. I get it. So these areas where you're at now, you might build some others around.
Right. So if we have 50 centers and 15 markets, that's about 3 centers per market. So we'll probably have anywhere from 2 to 6 stores in those, 2 to 6 centers in those 15 markets.
And are you doing in-house marketing now, or is your marketing out of house, or how's that working?
Yeah. So we've taken the majority of it in-house. So we've brought in our own marketing director. We're managing all of our paid marketing directly, whether that's, paid social or Yelp or paid search. Also all of the, less expensive marketing, email, SEO, all of those things we're managing in-house now.
I must say I'm seeing more and more OrangeTwist marketing on Instagram and Facebook, Instagram especially. So whoever's doing it is doing a great job. My compliments to them.
I'll pass that on to Denise, Nicole, and team. Maybe they'll be seeing it right here.
Excellent. I love it. Well, looking ahead, I know the aesthetics market is really growing by leaps and bounds, and non-surgical and minimally invasive is gigantic. And you mentioned all these different centers going up. But I'd like to know from you, Paul, what does the future look like? Give me like a 1-year, 3-year, 5-year perspective from you, from Paul Gaynor. How do you see the future of OrangeTwist and also the aesthetics industry. This is the technology of beauty.
Yeah, right.
So give me your perspective.
Right. Well,
please.
I know you've seen all the numbers and you've had a lot of icons that of the industry, sit in this seat. And you and I were talking. I'm a newbie to the industry, but I agree. When I love hearing people that have been in the industry a long time. In fact, I was listening to a podcast that you did with the CEO of Evolus, and he was saying, the biggest change I've seen in the last decade is the experience.
Yes.
That clients and consumers want that experience, and that is where OrangeTwist is positioned. Right. So in some ways, I think that the future is limitless. One of the things, again, I'll draw on my experience from Disney. One of the things that I really gained from my experience there was that spirit of optimism, right? Of looking at things and maybe there's roadblocks and there's issues, but being solution oriented to be able to see what the big picture is. And, in this category, you've seen all the numbers and all the projections of double-digit growth and market expansion. It really is limitless. And so, I think we have a great short-term roadmap where we know in the next 2.5 years, we'll be at 50 centers and we'll be able to really kind of get our memory muscle down of how to expand and roll out and find real estate and build centers in the way that we're going to need to do that. And then I think after that, really it is limitless of where we go next, right? Not only from a retail perspective in North America and globally, but I think there could be all kinds of brand extension opportunities because, again, OrangeTwist has positioned himself with such high quality. And when you can start there and you deliver quality experiences, I think that the opportunity to do a lot of different things will be there for OrangeTwist.
That's fantastic. So exciting. And Mickey and Minnie are going to play their role. I can see an image of Mickey and Minnie maybe in the window. I don't know. I'm sure Disney Company wouldn't let us do that.
No, I think the licensing fees might be too high for that.
Might be a little too high. Okay, I got it. But maybe I could do it on my own. I don't know. But I agree with you. That's very exciting.
Yeah.
50 centers and then you
then,
mentioned global.
Yeah, I think that the brand extension opportunity is there, obviously. And right now I feel like we've got that great roadmap ahead and we really, are laser focused, no pun intended, on where we're going.
Well, that's fantastic. Well, thank you very much for joining us and coming here today, coming up from OC.
Yep.
And I didn't know we both went to high school in the OC. We've got a lot in common.
That's right.
Again, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I'd like to thank all of you for joining us and getting to know Paul Gaynor from OrangeTwist, the CEO of OrangeTwist, which is growing by leaps and bounds. He has 16 centers now, soon to have 50. And if I were you and if I were industry, I'd jump on this thing right away. So in any event, thank you very much for joining me today. And we look forward to seeing you each and every Tuesday on the Technology of Beauty.